Hi, Democrats. Today is Tuesday, February 8th, and it's time for the Chair's Daily Live. Happy Tuesday. So, as you can tell, I'm not sitting at my house. I am out and about trying to engage with Democrats all over the state. But I chose a brick wall as my background because I am still reeling from the governor's comments, his state of the state yesterday, and truly it is like banging my head against a brick wall. So I thought it was apropos. So today is February 8th, Tuesday, February 8th. It is an election day. If you didn't do an absentee ballot and haven't turned that in and you haven't voted yet, it is 4:17, which means you have 2 hours and 43 minutes to get your vote cast. So stop what you're doing, stop watching me, go vote if you haven't already voted. It's a big deal. Today's election are municipal offices and um, charter amendments, and municipal offices and school boards, and in some counties, the mayor, like Oklahoma County. The mayor is on the ballot. What's interesting is in these kind of elections in February, or elections that don't get all of the news coverage and all of that kind of stuff, folks don't show up. But I assure you, because this is municipal, because it is charter amendments, it is the mayor, it is school boards, this stuff affects your day to day. This affects how you live as an Oklahoman. And so if you heard me the first time and you still hadn't voted, I'm begging you, go vote, because this affects you more closely than the president. It really does. It affects you more closely in some incidences than the governor. And to that I say thank God in some cases. Hi, Wayne. So these are the elections where no one shows up. I mean, some of these races are determined on less than 1,500 total votes. Don't make that the case. Go and make sure that your voice is counted. And this is Oklahoma. We are constantly, there's a constant war on the voice of the people. There's a constant war on the right to cast your vote. Don't let them win. Don't let them say, see, people don't show up. And that's what they'll use this election and say people don't show up, and so people don't matter, and it's easier to cheat, or whatever thing that they're going to use to say that folks don't show up. Show up. You have to show up, because this is an election year. This is an election year where there's going to be a lot of elections. Don't get purged. Make sure that your voice gets heard. Some of the things that are being attacked with regards to our right to vote in our state. There are bills on the floor now to reduce the eligibility for initiative petitions. One, they're trying to get rid of initiative petitions. That's where it's what I like to call direct democracy. If it's not being covered by your legislator, certainly not going to be covered by our current governor, and you want your voice heard, if you can put together a petition and get the requisite number of signatures, it can go on the ballot for the people to decide. A lot of states don't have that. We have that, and they're aiming to take that away from us. They're aiming for us, for all Oklahomans, no matter what your affiliation is, that come 2023, which is just next year, you won't be registered to vote anymore. Everyone will have to re-register to vote. I don't know what the purpose of this is. I think they're trying to imply that there are people on the rolls that shouldn't be. Oklahoma purges deceased voters, people who have moved. We have a system that does that automatically, and then they go through and do a cleanup every odd year. There is no reason to invalidate all of our registration. There is no reason. And currently, our process is highly manual. You can't just go online and register to vote. Although we voted for that as a people, we still can't do that. And so now you have to get a form, or you have to go online and fill out the stuff, and then wait for them to mail you the form, and then sign it, and then wait for your card. It is a whole process. None of it is automated. And we have a legislator who wants to send all of us through that process. Don't know why. And it makes me incredibly sad. My 96-year-old grandmother still has her mind, who votes every time she has a ballot. She's not going. She doesn't have the internet. And she's not in a place where she can go to the election board to fill out the paperwork. Let's take all of Oklahoma into account when we decide we want to make crazy rules. And then there's also absentee ballots. You guys heard me talk about this over and over and over in 2020 about absentee ballots and how important they are. And I mean, I'm not in town today. I'm not near my ballot box. But because we have absentee ballots, I don't have to be in town on an election day. What is being proposed is that we do away with absentee ballots, or you have to have an approved excuse to vote by absentee. Let me remind everybody, in 2016, Oklahoma, we've been doing absentee ballots for a very long time in our state. In 2016, Donald Trump received over 60,000 absentee ballots. Hillary Clinton received 34,000 absentee ballots. No one was calling it rife with fraud when Donald Trump was getting the most. When Democrats and independents started voting absentee, all of a sudden the process was rife with fraud. It challenged election integrity. Everything shouldn't be about party, but it kind of feels like they're going out of their way to make this about party. I'm talking about elections today because today is an election. I need everybody to exercise their right to vote because it is under attack in our state. Exercise your right to vote. And every time there's an election where folks don't show up, it gives them something to say on the floor as why we need to restrict who can vote. The voting franchise should be expanded to include as many people as possible, not restricted to limit who gets a say. So if you haven't voted, log off, go vote. If you know somebody who you think hasn't voted, give them a call and let them know that they have 2.5 hours to get over there and vote. All over the state, ballots are open until 7 p.m. Tomorrow, I'm going to give you a preview of what we're going to talk about tomorrow. Tomorrow, we are going to talk about those who are in our state government who are inviting folks to leave the state. Check back in with me tomorrow. You guys have a great one. See you tomorrow, 4:15.